Harley is an almost 2-year-old Cane Corso that we brought home when she was 8 weeks old. These are some of the useful resources that we found and some of the areas that we found worth looking into. Communication is the foundation of the relationship we have with our dogs. And communicating clearly is achieved through consistency. I recently heard the saying, dogs are masters of association. Erwin Valderramos, known on YouTube as the Dog Messiah, has a system of communication which goes beyond everything else I've researched on the subject. He teaches the good word theory, which establishes a common language for the dog and human. That's it. Good luck. This is accomplished by setting up scenarios and observing while waiting for particular actions to happen. Immediately, the action is marked with good, as well as the desired associated commands. An example would be waiting for the dog to lie down on its own, then saying "good down" to associate the behavior with the verbal command. Other signals and gestures can be associated in this way as well. Studying our dog's body language allows us to hear the dog's wants and needs so we can address them and build trust in our relationships. Joel Beckman of Beckmans Dog Training on YouTube has many videos where he narrates slowed down scenarios to explain different postures and how they apply in different situations. One of the first things that I find important to communicate are manners. To me, this is what the dog is taught not to do. Things like counter-surfing, going on furniture, or charging through thresholds. Will Atherton has some good information on his website and on his YouTube channel on this subject, and many others. While manners is the dog knowing what not to do, obedience is teaching the dog what to do when we ask. I try to use reason when teaching and giving commands so that they can be given confidently. I try to be aware of how the request made is in the best interest of all, including the dogs. I appreciate the no-nonsense attitude that Joel Beckman presents and the required consistency that goes along with it. This attitude applied when using Erwin Valderramos' methods seems to be a clear path to good obedience. Another important aspect of dog training is socialization. To me, this is getting the dog used to different people, animals, sounds, and smells in various environments. Jason Corey has some great videos on socialization on his YouTube channel. He shows how to introduce a guardian breed to people successfully. This is important, but hard to control with strangers, so bad habits can form if not done carefully. We only have Harley right now, but we may eventually have a place for another dog in the family, so I spend some time researching pack dynamics. A great channel with a pack that includes several Cane Corsos, describing many details on how they interact, is Ozzy the Cane Corso. A useful tool in dog training, somewhat relevant to pack dynamics, is the use of helper dogs, as applied by trainers such as Erwin Valderramos, who uses his own pack strategically to train other dogs, and Joel Beckman, who uses his family dog in a similar way. With many dogs comes the topic of breeding. The more we know on the subject, the better choices we are able to make when choosing where to find a puppy. A good example of a kennel that I've found on YouTube is 12 Titans Kennels. They operate a homestead where they work with several types of dogs along with their other projects, and they offer a look into what seems to be a very well thought out kennel. Senza Cane Corso is another example of a kennel that shares a lot of the experience. I cannot recommend any kennels for finding a dog, as I got my dog from a one-time breeder of their family dog. I definitely wouldn't discount a properly cared for backyard breeder. Good research is always a must in my opinion. When we got Harley as a puppy, I had already been doing a lot of research to be prepared. There are many good resources on the subject. I spent a lot of time watching through the collection of videos put out by the Dog Messiah and several others. It seems most important to pick a method that lines up with the desired outcome of the dog, since so much time goes into training. One part that all methods address is puppy potty training. I was told that a puppy can generally hold its bladder for an hour per month of its life. So an 8-week puppy should go out every 2 hours, and a 12-week-old puppy should go out every 3 hours, and so on. We kept a schedule on the refrigerator and kept to it the best we could. Other than some excited pees, Harley had very few accidents. A puppy is often finding things it shouldn't get into, which can lead to discomfort or worse. Healthcare can mean a trip to the vet, but many issues can be solved at home with the right knowledge, tools, and skills. I have dedicated much of my life to getting to know different plants, their uses and growing conditions, so I employ this information for myself and loved ones, animals included. A good book on the subject is Herbs for Pets. There are also other over-the-counter remedies available that correct many common ailments as well that are worth looking into. Having a growing puppy develop into a healthy adult dog requires good nutrition and feeding practices. This includes what to eat, when to eat, and how much to eat at different stages of a dog's life. A large breed dog seems to benefit from slower weight gain as a puppy, with the basic goal of being able to feel the ribs but not see them through a shorter-haired dog's coat. We feed quality kibble topped with various additives such as eggs or sometimes different leftovers from dog-safe family meals. We make sure to put them in her bowl so that she knows it's meant for her. We may one day choose to feed raw if and when finances and time allow for it. Jason Corey has a lot of information on the subject of feeding raw. It is a good place to start researching what is required to source, select, and bring food from the farm to the table. Another option to acquire food, where the dog can use its prey drive to help out, is by hunting. There aren't many people that seem to be using Cane Corsos for hunting, but Diamond Grit Cane Corsos makes videos of his experience hunting hogs with the breed. There are many types of hunting with various trainers to learn from, but I haven't went far down that path yet. One place I spend a lot of time is our garden, which helps to feed our family and Harley as well. We're working towards having chickens soon and possibly other livestock in the future, which has led towards looking into a livestock guardian dog. These dogs are meant to have very little prey drive while using a high defensive drive to fight off coyotes and wolves and other threats. Many of these dogs are born on a farm to a family out of working dogs, although training the right dog from elsewhere seems to be highly possible if given the time and energy required. Permies.com is a good place to start. One of the fun things we like to do with Harley is cart and sled pulling. This is great for bonding, as we all can enjoy a warm house from the firewood we have all helped to bring in. We still have a long ways to go in this training, although functionally we are achieving our main goals. One of the better resources I found for the training involved in cart pulling is a YouTube channel called Sit Stay. There are many other types of training to get involved with, from show to sport. I haven't spent much time looking for information on show dogs, but there are some sport trainers whose techniques can be very useful in other aspects of training. One trainer who has put out a lot of information and has proven himself with his titles is Ivan Balabanov. He practices in the protection sports field, which is not usually a place where many molossers compete, as the natural tendencies of the dog are not ideal there. Outside of the sport world, that type of protection training is mostly used by military and police, where they are legally allowed to track and apprehend. I've been spending time lately studying and training in the area of protection dogs. There are many types of protection dog and even more methods of how to train them. Again, it is important to choose a training style that fits our needs. Molossers are naturally more protective already, so much of the work is in maintaining control of the dog when in a defensive state. An invaluable master trainer who has shared his methods with a mentor I have been following is Gypsy Stratten. He has done many interviews where he shares his philosophies such as the best bite is no bite and all defense all the time.
Okay. Good. So good, Harley. So good. Good. Wow.
So be careful as you enter this world, as it's naturally full of aggression. I found Marino at the recommendation of the Dog Messiah while researching the history of the Cane Corso. He has some very good information on all this, and he offers his proof in the face of a lot of opposition. There's a lot of controversy in dog training, and there are many legally contested tools and methods currently around the world. It is important that we do our best to be responsible caretakers of our dogs as a form of standing up for our rights to have them. Just about every trainer has an opinion of somewhere within the debate. I try to promote the philosophy of freedom as presented by a popular YouTube video by the same name. Sometimes it's nice to listen to all the different opinions and philosophies out there to continue to grow with the ever-changing world. Some that I enjoy are from Joel Beckman, NWA Cane Corsos, and Ivan Balabanov, who really gets down to the fine details in his interviews.
It can be important when watching videos to read the comments and compare what you see to your own and others' personal experience. If you have any questions, have they been answered? There's way more out there than what I found, so feel free to leave comments with other resources that you find useful.